Here we go. Okay, so 6 is from this in your packet, right? You're going to graph here, but I'm making you do all the characteristics on this page, right? Okay, so let's move this. All right, so now we're looking at here. Okay, what's the value of A? -1, right? Remember, look, they gave you the abbreviated form, -x² + 3. But then I told you guys you should be able to write it and expand it, showing every detail. Your A is -1. Even though you see x, it's really quantity x minus 0 squared, and your k is 3. Okay, is -1, is that number positive or negative? Negative. So does that mean, is it concave up or concave down?
Down.
So you could underline it, or you could do your little down. All right, opposite H, follow K. What's my value of H? Huh? 0. What's the K value? You guys listening? Yeah? Off your phones? No Netflix? Okay, and so what's your vertex? It's the point HK, right? So 0, 3. Right? You're fine. Okay, now, when we graph this, we'll for sure come back to it, but because it's concave down, your vertex at the very tippy top, right? That's going to be your vertex. So when you graph it, is that going to be a max point or a minimum point? Max. Because it's the highest point, right? If it's concave down, it's the highest. So this is going to be the maximum point. This point is the same as your vertex because it is the vertex. When we graph it, I'll label, and so you'll get the visual. All right, so if it's a max point, it's a max value. It can be a max and a min. You can't have both. Okay. The value is always what number? Miss Seeley. What is it? What would it be?
0.
Yep.
3.
Yes. It's going to be 3. This is always the K value, or it is always, I don't know if I can write. It is always this Y value to your vertex. You guys, you're going to have a lot of repeats. Once you start figuring out the repeats, it goes very, very quickly. All right, axis of symmetry. That's that pink vertical line that cuts through your vertex. Okay, what do I write here? But it's a line. She's correct, but it's a line. So how do I express it? Very good, Claire. X equals 0. It is always X equal H. Which is at 0, 0, 0. Okay, domain and range we'll get to, but I need the graph first, so I'll come back to it. And by the way, I told you guys, this will be extra credit on quizzes and tests because you're barely getting acquainted with it. It's it becomes a little bit more clear in im3. Okay. All right. Describe the horizontal shift. So if you're at 0, 3, is there a horizontal shift? Well, what's the H value? Huh? 0. So is there a shift? No. Okay. So you put none, no shift, right? Okay. What's my vertical shift? Vertical is K.
3.
And what direction? Up. Or you could just put up 3 or 3 up, whatever. I need a direction and I need a number. Okay. All right, so now your table. Do you guys want to go 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, or -2, -1, 0, 1, 2?
-2.
Okay. So -2, -1, 1, 2. remember, this is your number line, right? You're looking at the number line this way. What's one number to the right? 1. What's one number to the left? -1. Those are equidistant to the 0, so that's why they're going to have the same y value. Go 2 units to the right, 2 units to the left. They're going to have the same output value, right? That's what we did yesterday with the little pink, this thing where we kind of counted, right? That equidistance. Okay. We got to input. Some of you are having issues of how do you find the y values. No, you guys, input, output. Take the number, substitute it. What's your output? Okay, but because you got 2 written, let's do them both just so that we don't confuse you guys. All right, so let me write my little table here so I can kind of cover it up. What is this, 3? 3. Okay. All right, look, I wrote it 2 ways. So in the packet, it's f of x is -x² plus 3. But then I rewrote it as f of x, or y, is equal to -1 x minus 0 squared plus 3. Okay, you can substitute into either of these functions. So I'll do them both to prove to you it doesn't matter, you'll still get the same answer. Okay, so calculator, right? All right, let x be -2, which means you're going to substitute it into here. So if I let f substitute as -2, -2 squared plus 3. Now, you could throw it in the calculator. What you see is what you type, but you should be able to do it by hand. If you know order of operations, what am I going to take care of first? What do you think? Yes. You have to take care of the squaring. You have to do this. If you go -2 squared, you're going to end up with a +4. You should actually have a -4, right? So look, you have -4 plus 3. This now becomes -4 plus 3, and so you get -1. Otherwise, you would end up with 7, and 7's not it. Okay, throw in -1. What's f of -1? -1 squared plus 3. Again, order of operations. -1 squared is 1. And so you get 2, right? And so that is where you're going to plot these points here, which we'll do in a second. All right, look. Your calculator does it all. As long as you can type it in, the whole saying garbage in, garbage out, if you get a trash answer, it's because you typed in trash. Okay, so here we go. Negative, parenthesis, -2 squared plus 3. There's my -1. -2, -1. Go back. -1, 2. Right? So, right, you're taking a test, you're short on time, calculator. But you should be capable of solving your middle school math. Middle school math is really important. Okay, now what happens if you're like, but what if I want to use this one? It doesn't matter. F of -2, so I'm doing way more work right now. -2 minus 0 squared plus 3. What's -2 minus 0? -2. What is 2 squared? 4. What's -1 times 4? -4 plus 3, there's your -1. You still end up with the exact same answer. So, I'm sorry. So it doesn't matter if you use the abbreviated or the super detailed. Okay, we're going to plot right now, so... Do you still need this, or can I plot? Plot?
No.
Remember, we're still recording. Yeah? Yeah, okay. So look, we're going to plot, so we got, oh, here, let me put it here. -1, 2, 2, -1. All right, so let's go to here. And so, all right, so we're like in quadrant 1 and 2, and then it kind of enters. So, okay, the numbers are small. It doesn't matter. So get your little x, y axes, right? I'm just going to increment by ones. So I have -2, -1, -1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 2, oh, well, there goes my 2, and 2, -1. So they go by ones, okay? Oh, it looks so pretty. And so notice, this is my vertex. My axis of symmetry, it's on the y-axis, doesn't matter though. This is your AOS, it's x equals 0 because it is cutting through the vertex point and it's totally symmetric, the left to the right. And that's why these points are those anchor points we were discussing yesterday, how they are equal distant. Oh, the colors aren't showing up. Oh well. Right? 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, right? Okay, max min point. So look, you guys agreed that it was a max point at 0, 3. This was your max, right? And that number's at 3 on the y-axis, right? Because 1, 2, 3, yeah? Okay. That is going to dictate our range. So we're going to go into domain and range right now. All right, look. You haven't hit any restrictions. So in terms of domain, parabolas are always negative infinity to positive infinity. There are no restrictions. If I want to type in x is 100, I'll get a y value. If I want to type in -250, I'll get a y value. It might be really big, it might be really small, but you're going to get an output value. This might be going over your head. I get it. You're just being exposed to it, which is fair. That's why I said I give you credit. You guys test your quiz. Okay, your range. Your range is dictated by the y-axis. The domain is the x, range is the y. So when we talk about it has a max value at 3, that means the parabola exists in quadrant 3 and 4, and it keeps existing on the y-axis until you get to 3. And once you get to 3.5 and 4 and 5 and 10, there is no parabola up here. There are no points. So your range can go very, very, right, negative y values, and it goes all the way up. There's points, 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 and then it stops. So the range is negative infinity to 3 bracket inclusive. It's always going to be determined by that max or min point. As we do them, I'm hoping you guys kind of pick up the pattern of it, but in im2, it makes more sense. Okay, because you need like a bunch of different graphs to really nail it down. Okay. Okay, that's 6. That's what you're doing for 7 and 8, right? Okay, can I shut it off? By the way, when I shut it off, it clears out because it saves. It takes it back to the beginning. But then I save it, and then I'll attach it into, I'll type this page into, I'll type into Canvas page 5 back, question 6, 7, oh, you can't even see. questions 6, 7, and 8. That'll be the title, and then you'll see a little video, and that's this video. Can I stop it? Yeah. Are you copying? I think he's copying.
Well done.
You're adding more minutes. Good? Okay, so it'll save and then it'll come back, you guys. Just